So
wow,
here, but let's talk about these fucking American.
This is something I know very little
these
about.
American pigs here.
The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been the focal point of geopolitical instability in the Middle East since the establishment of Israel in 1948. Although the vast majority of the international
I was one of the editors of Vice for 9 years.
Wait, I did not know that. What the fuck? Yo, this motherfucker's done everything, bro. He was a Columbia professor. I did not know that you were an editor for Vice.
Music only. Rap music only. They're from Montreal. I grew up with those guys. That's for another chat. That's for post-ceasefire chat. Yeah, let's watch this.
And the United States publicly support a two-state solution to try and end this conflict. After decades of negotiation, the final settlement has never been reached. And tensions between the Jewish state and the Arab world continue to fester. Throughout this process, America has remained firmly behind Israel as its greatest supporter. In fact, Israel receives more U.S. foreign aid than any other country in the world.
Right, we know that.
Now, much of this support has been attributed to a strong, wealthy, and very pro-Israeli lobby in America, which is true, but you'd think that the majority of the strength behind this lobby would be the Jewish community in the U.S.
Yeah, we think it's AIPAC.
Which is only partially correct,
okay.
Because as it turns out, in terms of sheer numbers, the evangelical Christians from America's Bible Belt make up the majority of this lobby's power base. So he sent Thomas Morton to find out why a bunch of born-again Christians from Texas are so in.
That's crazy. What a flex, bro. Okay.
Okay,
that's dope. One thing that I have to mention here is what's that fucking guy, the dude that wore the yellow Star of David at the UN ambassador, the UN envoy to Israel.
Wait, sorry.
What was his name, Chad? Fuck, I can't believe I'm forgetting him now. No, not Yoav Galan. Yoav Galan is the defense minister.
Yeah.
No,
he's human animal.
Gilad Erdan. You're right. No, not Concreus. You're right. I think it was Gilad Erdan. Okay, so Gilad did something that was really interesting. No, it's not Eran Morad. That's funny. You know who Eran Morad is?
Look at you with your little
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah,
Sacha Baron Cohen's character.
Yeah.
The one who was like able to infiltrate all of the spaces in DC by portraying himself as like a Mossad guy.
Yeah. He's incredible.
Again, like so easy to get access to congresspersons by being like, oh, I am Israeli and
all right.
I am
Stop with your accent is anti-Semitic. Just kidding. You actually do it really well. Go on.
So yeah, because I watch a lot. I watch a lot of this stuff, but so Gilad Erdan, in between the whole like wearing the Star of David, the yellow Star of David, to be like, we have to keep killing Palestinians or else this is literally the Holocaust, which is so disrespectful. In between that process, he flew to America.
Okay.
He flew to America and he delivered a speech. I remember this was early on.
Does this connect with the Christian?
Yes.
Okay.
The speech that he delivered was in front of a Dallas, Texas audience at a mega church, which was very interesting. I tweeted about it at the time. It was John Hagee's mega church. John Hagee.
We saw him at the rally. Who
also was at the rally, who once famously said that Hitler was half Jewish. And actually, it's a good thing that the Holocaust happened so that like Israel could be created.
Okay. You're triggering me.
Absolute fucking monstrous psychopath.
Yeah, nut job.
Yeah. So why was Gilad Erdan and other Israeli diplomats on October 27th flying to Texas to hold a Christian right prayer rally with this fucking psycho?
Yeah.
Where he cited the prophet Isaiah, a dog whistle for the end times, and calls on evangelicals to help lobby the U.S. government back Israel as a religious war.
Okay, put me on.
It's because of what you're about to see.
Okay.
Because evangelicals are the most loyal supporters of Israel. They're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And their support of Israel is anti-Semitic as well.
Sure.
Like they believe that the chosen sons of God, the Jews, will populate that land, and the land will belong to Israel. And then what will happen afterwards is that Jesus Christ will come back to earth and defeat Satan in a war.
It's a
triggering the rapture.
Yeah, it's a cult. It's some cult shit.
Triggering. Yeah. It's actually very cool because it's like a fucking anime. It's insane. But yeah, the rapture will happen, and all of the good evangelical Christians will be sucked into the heaven during the rapture, and everyone else that does not convert to evangelical Christianity, which of course includes Jewish people as well, will burn in hell in eternal damnation.
So they get rid of us anyway.
Yeah.
Great.
So
how convenient.
It's a wonderful win-win situation if you're like an evangelical who is anti-Semitic. You're like, oh, go over there, go to the desert.
Sure.
Go.
I heard
go
it's
far
warm.
away.
Yeah.
Go far away from me. I don't want to be around you. But also simultaneously, oh great, you're killing Muslims. That's another win.
It's a win-win for everyone over there.
And also, you're gonna go to hell anyway when the rapture happens.
Put him on. He's begging for it. So is this all? It's all in here.
Yeah.
In love with the nation of Israel.
Thomas Morton. Oh wow. Okay.
Can't
cool.
believe he interned for you. That's so sick.
Yeah. He was our editorial.
This may be the
Megiddo,
most important prophetic spot in the entire Bible, because the final act of the book of Revelation is.
Can I just say, Irvin Baxter, End Time Ministries.
Yeah.
Already a red flag right there.
Crazy, yeah.
Why does this man
one
with a
eye on
southern
America,
drawl,
one eye on the Middle East?
Yeah. Why is this man with a southern drawl talking about how Israel belongs to the chosen sons of God in the middle of fucking Megiddo? Interesting.
Going to begin right here at this place. The Bible teaches that Russia, Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, Turkey, and other nations will come down under a UN flag, and they will invade Israel at this particular point. Can you imagine? Thousands of tanks out here in this valley, rumbling, fighting, firing.
He's hallucinating.
Can you imagine jet airplanes screaming overhead? The battle is going to be fierce.
The horrific multinational fighting.
Okay, but just what if he's right? Okay, hear me out. What if it's correct, though?
Preacher is describing is the Battle of Armageddon, which is supposed to happen right here, just as soon as Israel is a fully Jewish state. Which is why a bunch of Christians in Texas have become the most fervent Zionists on God's green earth.
While most Americans probably think that the pro-Israeli lobby is largely a Jewish thing, actually most of its support comes from right here in the Bible Belt, where evangelical Christians overwhelmingly believe that Israel has a right to exist because God said so.
Go to the phone right now and call that number and say, yes, I'm going to stand with Israel.
Isn't that funny how all of those televangelists look like the devil incarnate too? Like, it's just, look at this guy. Like, this guy literally looks like the devil.
Well, he's got a little bit of Logan from Succession.
That's what the bad guy. like they always look so fucking evil, dude. Like, like Kenneth Copeland is straight up the spawn of Satan. Have you ever heard him talk about how he had to get Tyler Perry gave us a great deal on a private jet. We had to do it. Like, he is such a fucking villain, dog. How do you not see it?
Hasan just said dog. Go on. So, okay, so this is the
call
gist.
that number and say, yes, I'm going to stand with Israel. I'm going to bless the people of the Bible. I'm going to bless God's chosen people.
Will those of you in this audience
support
the state of Israel?
Again, another demon looking like Jabba the Hutt, bro. Like, what the fuck? How does nobody see it? Am I crazy? Like, if I walk into any institution and it's being led by a guy that looks like this, I'm like, nope. Not the good guys.
There's
no
a lot
way.
of people who look like this. This is a lot of people actually probably relate to him.
No way. I see this. I'm like, nope. This is the bad place. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna look at you and think you're the bad place too. Look at you and be like, what is this Turk doing on my lawn?
Yeah. Well, it's
Stand
just
to
like
your feet and give a shout
it looks
of
so
support.
scary.
While a lot of Israel's financial support does come from Jewish wallets, there are close to 70 million evangelicals in America versus less than 14 million Jews worldwide. And given that roughly 80% of these Christians support Israel, that makes American Christians the largest pro-Israeli voting bloc in the world, about 4 times the size of the Jewish community on Earth.
There's a lot of money behind the Christian Zionist movement. This church behind me, Cornerstone, is one of the biggest supporters of Israel, not just among Christians, but in the world. The pastor here, John Hagee, has raised an estimated $70 million over the course of his ministry.
Pastor Hagee also founded Christians United for Israel,
Did you
or
hear that?
CUFI,
Hagee raised $70 million by 2018.
which is the largest pro-Israel lobbying organization in America, even bigger than AIPAC, the organization most people assume dominates the American Israel lobby because it's the biggest Jewish one. What's dicey about CUFI is that a good deal of their money for Israel is spent on buildings
It's called
and
Kufi?
organizations.
That's also funny, by the way.
Yeah, CUFI, yeah. Christians United for Israel.
That's
Why
funny.
does that mean it? Was that?
You know what a kufi is? It's a dashiki.
Oh, I did not. Yeah, no.
You
I
know the
didn't
thing that they wore during BLM when they knelt?
Yeah.
When they kneel?
I thought it was
Is
a
it kente?
kente. The kente cloth.
Kente is the pattern.
Yeah.
Kufi or dashiki. Anyways.
In the Israeli settlements. These are massive Jewish
Yeah,
communities.
did you hear that, by the way? Most of their spending goes directly to funding and facilitating Israeli settlements.
Built well within Palestinian territory in violation of international law. The settlements are run by some of the most fanatical Zionists who believe the Bible entitles them
Yeah,
to their
Kufi is the
land,
cap.
and that ceding any of it
Kufi's
back
the
to the Palestinians would
You're
be
right.
a
Sorry,
violation
guys.
of God's law.
God gave them that land. They own that land.
The vibrato is crazy.
While there's nothing wrong with Christians supporting Israel, the way these Christians have chosen to do so puts them firmly on one side of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, one that's directly opposed to the U.S. government's official policy, and are using their massive political power and money to oppose the peace plan John Kerry is currently trying to push through. That's the two-state solution that would give the Palestinians the West Bank and Gaza Strip, and the Israelis would get the rest, hopefully ending all the violence. The evangelicals
That
not
didn't
only
age
lobby
well, did it?
Washington and send money to Israel to fight the two-state solution, they
Bonds
also
are
make up over
crazy.
40% of American tourists in Israel every year with popular Holy Land pilgrimage tours.
40%.
Many of these
Yes, bro. People. This is why
they go.
Bro,
They're
this
not
is
going
why I
for
think
the
it's so
falafel.
funny. This is why I think it's so fucking funny that people are always like, "Oh, dude, this is like anti-Semites who are
Fixated with AIPAC.
anti-Semites who are
With
not just like being fixated with AIPAC is understandable, but like a lot of people don't understand.
Depends under which pretext, but yes.
But
We'll
a
say
lot of
yes.
people don't understand. It is just like the NRA. AIPAC only exists as a viable political entity, not because of some like outsized influence that Jewish people have,
Yeah.
but because it corresponds to a legitimately, and I mean popular, when I say popular, I don't mean like it's a good thing, but a very popular sentiment expressed by the voters. Guns are very popular in America. The NRA is not there to make guns popular. The NRA is only there to make politicians vote in the direction that they were already going to vote in normal times when times are tumultuous. And AIPAC does the exact same thing.
Right.
Their
It's
entire goal
fear,
is to
fear mongering to make you kind of like have
Yes.
this defensive voting mechanism.
Yeah, or fear mongering to say like, oh yeah, you're gonna fucking speak out against Israel. We're dumping $5 million to your like local race.
Sure.
And they've done that before.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they're not creating the pro-Israeli sentiment or pro-Israel sentiment rather. The pro-Israel sentiment exists in America for multiple different reasons.
A myriad of reasons, which we talked about before, even that whole spectrum that we talked about.
The reality is that this is what causes so many people to just point it at the Jews. Like to be like, oh no, like, oh, it's the Jews that are doing this. It's the Jews that are doing that. It's like, no, man, it's the fucking Christians, okay? I've said this before. If 99% of American Jews were like rabid anti-Zionists, okay, somehow, tomorrow, everyone was like, I'm Chomsky, okay? Every American Jew tomorrow came out and was like, not in our name.
Yeah.
We're done with this shit.
Yeah.
Stop it now. America would still absolutely fund Israel and would absolutely continue on funding Israel and saying, go ahead, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Partially because of the evangelical Christian support, but more importantly than that, because of America's imperialist interest in maintaining Israel as a forward operating base with nukes.
Yeah, I just don't like the word imperialist because there's more modern ways to say that. It's modern. It's not even imperialist. It's geopolitics.
Yeah,
It's post Cold War.
That's what I mean.
Sure.
Look, I'm old school. I
You're
guess.
old school.
I'm
Well, yeah, you're Turkish mostly.
a little bit of a
You're a Turk.
a little bit of a Leninist appreciation for America's actions.
Yeah,
but that's where it stems from, is that like America has a genuine interest in operating in maintaining Israel in the way that it is,
Of course.
as a destabilizing force in the region
Yeah.
that is not ultimately as autonomous as like people would like to think it is.
Ask Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, the region to begin with is a hotbed for proxy wars, and America is one of the players in those proxy wars.
Yeah. Okay.
Tours actually have stops in the Israeli settlements,
Or not.
which are used by the settlers to solicit donations for their cause.
We're in Karnei Shamram, Israeli settlement. We're about to meet Sandra, who deals with Pastor Hagee in
I went to
United
jail
States.
for
She
6
is not a
months over a
Christian. She's an
Facebook
Orthodox.
post. Holy shit. I live in Jerusalem. I was just sharing posts that show what is happening in Gaza. Was not really calling for anything bad towards anyone. And I had special forces at my door after a couple days.
Get him on the chat.
He is in the chat.
On the show. Get him on FaceTime.
I live there at the moment, and I can tell you right now, these people are beyond evil. Bro, I feel like he's going to go to jail again. If he
Yeah. Take that down, bro. Unscreenshot this.
Yeah. Bro.
Incredible. I got to go.
You're leaving?
I got to run.
Oh,
dude, this is incredible. Wait, I gotta do my little chat shout out. Shout out to all my Mizrahis in the chat too, all my Moroccans in the chat, all my Jewish people who are dealing with a lot of different opinions within their families and trying to like reconcile all that. Shout out to all my Palestinians too. Shout out to all my Chomskins and who?
Fucking Austin. While we're having a conversation about serious subjects,
wait, who's Austin?
My podcast co-host is sending me fucking nude photos of himself.
He's jacked.
He is jacked.
He's jacked.
Look at this.
Yeah, I love chat. I missed you guys, but my eyes are hurting. Enjoy the merch. Thank you for putting me on to this like sort of Christian fundamentalist narrative.
Like I
said,
hit up your former intern. He knows he's got the sauce.
All right, bro.
Dave one, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for
Don't
having
get your
me.
water.
Yes.
One for the road.
One for the road.
Little road soda.
We'll do it again. We'll bring pee.
Hell yeah.
We'll do it again. Peace out, chat. My man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Later.
Oh, all right. Bye. All right, that was Dave Maklovich, everybody. Dave won. One half of Chromeo, A-Track's brother. For those of you who don't know, it's funny. He's like talking about his brother having a bar mitzvah in Israel. I think he was talking about A-Track. For those of you who don't know, are you a stunt double? Yes, I am his stunt double. We'll finish this and then. What the fuck is this meme, bro? I can't wait for the real Hasan to die so my body double can rise from the ashes. Well, yeah, A-Track. Actually, A-Track. Straight up. A-Track also is anti-Zionist as well, for those who didn't know. Yes, they've won. David is 45 years old, which is shocking, I know. Yes, fancy footwork. Every time you have Dave on, I wish you could stay for much longer. I know, me too. I also wish that. Can we tell chat to chill out when we have guests? Yes. It's so funny because, like, I am noticing something here. Like, listen. There is some legitimacy here. Make no mistake. Like, while Ethan has said some stuff that's controversial to a broader audience, there is definitely some valid criticisms to be made towards chat, especially as it pertains to like hearing any kind of conversation that you can misconstrue in the direction that there is not like 100% unconditional support for Palestinians. David has been an anti-Zionist before you motherfuckers knew where Israel was. Okay? Like, it's crazy. You please, you have to fucking calm down. Hoscord, chat, like, it is crazy. Like, you guys sometimes get a little too rabid. It's crazy to me that you want, it's crazy to me that you're like being aggro towards him in any way. Yeah, if he's 45, he was anti-Zionist before some of us were fucking born. Exactly. So please. Okay, dog, but most chat doesn't know his fucking name and he comes out here with the I have beef with the anti-Zionist leftist Lamau. Okay, it doesn't matter. It like I'm bringing him on board. Okay? There are definitely a lot of chatters in here that are straight up. You talk so often about your haters being uncharitable towards you, but they refuse to reckon with the reality that they aren't charitable to people you bring on. Exactly. Please dial it back. You need to be careful around a guy like that. Dave hasn't aged in 20 years. Must be a vampire. I know he is. I love Dave. This is why people hate leftists. I agree. That's what you took from that whole compo chatter? No, there's a shit ton more good chatters in here, but I just wanted to address the very vocal minority in the chat because that kind of attitude needs to be fucking stomped out. Okay? We have to put our best foot forward and like, come on. His entire general point, in my opinion, is that leftists turn off people when we act holier than thou. Just because we're right, we have to communicate our ideas effectively. Yeah. Like, I think Dave has a portrait in his attic that slowly ages and he can't look at. Like, that's crazy. P-Thug is also Lebanese, like, has family in Lebanon, is his best friend. Like, he couldn't make it today, but come on. Like, that's crazy. For a guy who loves shitting on Canada, you sure do have a lot of Canadian friends. Of course I have a lot of Canadian friends. Canadians, like, usually, like I said, have a starting position that is the most understandable, empathetic, normal, good. And then there's the motherfuckers like Ted Cruz. You know what I mean? We have a very, like, there are some in leftist spaces that I call baby leftists that definitely they haven't been through the ringer. Hoscord loves Hasan. Thank you for the 10 community to give the subs. Did David leave on a bad note? No, fuck no. No. He didn't. Not at all. Not at all. Especially because he avoided the top of the hour ad break, which is coming now. I just wanted to address it. It's probably best that I didn't even address it. But I wanted to address it because, like, I don't like it. I see it. Even if I see one, I often get one guide in chat, as you guys know. But, like, I don't like it when people very quickly jump on a person without knowing what their background is and, you know, what they bring to the table, how many years they have been, like, an advocate for Palestinian emancipation. And it wasn't certainly one guy, and I don't like it. And I think you guys need to be more tempered in your approach. Yeah. Not even when he was saying something contentious. There were a lot of moments where chatters didn't understand what he was saying and thought it was the opposite. Yeah. I need you guys to be fucking chill. Okay? Stop being overzealous. Some of your leftist viewers really want an echo chamber and hate this idea of moving people to the left. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I'm confused what Hasan is bothered by. I think that it's something that I see a lot in. He didn't even say anything controversial. I know. That's why I'm saying it's like chatters were being very uncharitable. You finished the bone. There is no more bone left. You are bone dry. Don't look at me like that. Get down. Yes, David is the man. I love him. He's awesome. And, you know, everyone needs to fucking, like, there are people that were, you know, maybe popping off need to be way more chill. All right, let's finish this.
Jew, and right now she's hosting a bunch of Christian Australians who are touring the settlement and hopefully coughing up the bills.
To make the settlements more relatable to their Christian friends, Sandra and her organization used the
Come on. Don't even fucking troll right now. Don't even troll. You're so stupid. Take a day off. You can't move someone to the left who doesn't want to be moved. Respectability politics is a myth. People come to their own conclusion. Being nice to them doesn't actually change anything. It's a ridiculous outlook. There's no proof to indicate that it works. People only say that when they want you to shut up. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot, dude. This community didn't become the largest. This community did not become the largest fucking leftist community online out of mere accident. It's because when I had 35 people in here, there were still plenty of people who fucking behaved like you do. Okay? And I told them to shut the fuck up. And I banned them. Okay? Regularly. You're so wrong. You're so silly and wrong. Okay? There are plenty of people in the margins. There are plenty of people who do not have access to the same information that you have access to. Okay? And there are a shit ton of people. There are a shit ton of people in this chat that used to not hold these opinions, okay? There are a shit ton of people in this community that used to have many right-wing perspectives on certain issues, whether it be trans issues, whether it be racism, whether it be socialism, okay? And this community and the size of this community is a testament to how much you can move people in a certain direction, if you put your best foot forward, if you present yourself as an empathetic and kind person. And leftists are supposed to be empathetic and kind people. All right? Don't do it. Don't try to justify antisocial behavior by trying to moralize it. I was swayed away from JP by right-wingish media towards this community in 2017, 2018 due to the kindness and understanding from this community. Yeah. There's a reason why I'm in the driver's seat and you're watching currently. Just trust me, okay? Please. I feel like I have demonstrated time and time again that I know what I'm fucking doing.
Palestinian territories' biblical names of Judea and Samaria.
It is for us as people who believe in the Bible is to stand on the moral and spiritual right of the Jewish people to Judea and Samaria. Amen? Amen. Good.
After Sandra's presentation, we reboarded the bus to see the settlement for ourselves.
Come on, guys. I want you to try to punch him in the stomach. Let's give it a try. Unfortunately, our Arab neighbors also have these kinds of guns.
Unfortunately. God damn. These are all fucking Christian Zionists, by the way. American Christian Zionists. So these people like Obama for giving Israel Iron Dome? No, they hate Obama because he's black. And think Obama also is a Jew hater. And not the kind that I like, you know? I hate Obama. I hate Obama because he's Kenyan. I personally believe that Jews have horns and tails, but also I think that they belong in Israel, far away from me. And Obama does not care about them going to Israel. Missoula Star Fox and Zealous Crow, thank you for the 5 community, give the subs. By the way, the tail thing and the horn thing is something that I've directly heard from my Jewish friends that have visited places in the South. Okay? Like, we got people who are like direct dick riders of the Israeli state that love funding the settlements, who legitimately think that like Jews have horns and tails. Okay? There is no better demonstration of like ultra Zionist Christianity and how anti-Semitic that is. I am Jewish, raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, buckle of the Bible Belt, and they openly said I was going to hell. Yup. Yeah, space lasers is another good one.
To be protected with something like this.
How important is Christian support for specifically for the settlements?
Christian support for the Jewish presence in Judea and Samaria is critical because it's a very large group of people all over the world, and we need to hear their voices, and thank God they are raising their voices on this issue louder and louder every day.
Another Christian Holy Land tour leader is evangelical pastor Irvin Baxter, whose end-time ministries takes its flock to Israel twice a year. The focus of their tours is actually the real reason evangelicals overwhelmingly want the Jews to control all of Israel, which is the actual end times, as in Armageddon. Because, according to their interpretation of the Bible, Jewish control of the Holy Land will lead directly to the second coming of Christ. We watched this back in the day,
remember?
The word
remember that movie? We watched that movie entirely on stream before. It's such a good movie.
Armageddon is actually 2 words. Har Megiddo, or Hill of Megiddo. You are standing on the Hill of Megiddo right now. The final act of the book of Revelation is going to begin right here at this place. And when Israel's about to be defeated, the Bible tells us that Jesus Christ himself will intervene. It says it this way: the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of God. He is going to defeat the Antichrist. He's going to defeat the false prophet. Both of them will be cast alive into the lake of fire. At that time, Satan is going to be bound for the next 1,000 years, and we are going to crown Jesus Christ as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Real quickly, I will take time for a few questions.
What will be happening in Maryland at that time?
Well, I can't tell you for sure if Maryland will still be there or not.
In addition to Armageddon, Pastor Baxter's End Times tour hits all the other local attractions associated with the apocalypse, including the most contested piece of real estate on the planet, Jerusalem, which houses some of the most sacred sites for Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike. It's also where Jesus lands at the grand finale of the end times, which doesn't pan out so great for the Jews.
2/3 of Israel will die. It's Zechariah 13, I think, maybe verse 7, 8, 9, right in that area.
Yeah.
That 2/3.
It's pretty funny that they like he doesn't even hide it. He's like, yeah, some of you Jews are gonna die, and the rest of you that don't convert to Christianity, well, you're gonna die too. You're gonna go to hell. I mean, it's insane. It is literally a death cult. Like it's so psychotic.
1/3 will die.
God, I wish David saw this part.
1/3 will be brought through the fire, and that 1/3 will then turn to Messiah en masse when he comes back. And the scripture says that they will run.
See, they're gonna convert like immediately, instantaneously. They're gonna convert to. Sam Cedar once told me in his youth that a girlfriend checked his head for horns. The fuck?
To him And when they bow to worship him, Zechariah 13:6 says they're going to notice he's got wounds in his feet and in his hand. And they're going to say, "You're Jesus? Oh, Messiah, we've been so stubborn, we've been so proud, we've been so blind. Could you ever forgive us?" And 2,000 years of blindness is going to come peeling off the Jewish mind. And those of us that have been caught up in the rapture and come with Jesus here to...
Oh, because the Christians have been raptured out.
All who are born again will have been raptured. When Jesus comes, we'll be caught up to meet him in the air.
Yeah.
And then we will come with him to the Mount of Olives. And so we're going to be watching this whole panoramic thing unfold as the Jewish people turn to their Messiah. We're going to be converting people by the hundreds of thousands during this time. It's going to be the best of times and the worst of times.
While the 2/3 of Jews who die are definitely
like, dude. These motherfuckers don't miss a city council meeting. Like, bro. Like, my man said the Jewish mind of 2,000 years of wrong think is gonna be cleared. Okay, think about that. Like, does that strike you as the words of a man who is not anti-Semitic?
getting the worst of times into the stick, it's a little less clear how the rest of the world fares in the pastor's end of days scenario.
Can America get on the right side of Armageddon by supporting Israel?
Americans can let their legislators know, support Israel. Right now, under the President Obama administration, there seems to be a drift somewhat away from Israel, at least a determination to force Israel to do what America thinks it should do.
The only way for Israel to endure and thrive as a Jewish and democratic state is through the realization of an independent and viable Palestine.
The Jewish people should say, look, this is our promised land. The Bible says we should not give it up, so we're not giving it up. You have to respect our religion.
Aside from potentially derailing an otherwise pretty solid peace plan, Christian support for the...
By the way, who was it that originally said, was it John Kerry? Israel can't be a democratic state and a Jewish one. Can't have both. Who was it that said that? I think it was John Kerry, right? Is John Kerry, think about the changing of the narrative. Where is it? I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I think it was John Kerry that said, Israel can either be a Jewish state or a democratic state. It cannot be both.
There are a similar number of Jews and Palestinians living between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. They have a choice. They can choose to live together in one state, or they can separate into two states. But here is a fundamental reality. If the choice is one state, Israel can either be Jewish or democratic. It cannot be both.
He was so right, by the way. It's not an incredibly rare John Kerry W. John Kerry has some decent... No, he's not. This is not genocidal rhetoric. The fuck are you talking? Oh, you mean like anti-Semitic, you mean, like as a joke. No, John Kerry is right. John Kerry is absolutely correct. I'm showing this as a moment for you guys to understand. This is a moment of clarity. Think about how far right we have moved from this position. He was absolutely correct when he said Israel can either be a Jewish state, if there is a one state, Israel can either be a Jewish state or a democratic state. It can't be both. He is right. He's absolutely right. He's saying, exactly, thank you for clarifying. He's saying you can't have a Jewish ethno-state and be democratic at the same time. Okay? And the reality is, okay, that Barack Obama's sentiment, only a couple years after that, which we just saw here,
is, aside from it up,
is a more right-wing position
Jewish
than that.
and democratic
Or no, before
state
then, sorry. This was in March 2013. Barack Obama said,
through the realization of an independent and viable Palestine.
and even this was considered to be like unacceptable at the time.
Christian support for the Israeli settlements further makes life a pain in the ass for the Palestinians living nearby, which is exactly what's happening at Beit Jala, a Palestinian village on the outskirts of Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. Javier Abu Aid is also a Christian, as well as an official in the Palestinian Liberation Organization. We met him at a weekly outdoor mass put on by the Catholic Church as a form of protest against Israeli encroachment.
2 years ago, an Israeli court decided to build the wall here, where we are. So basically all this valley that you see here, it's going to be on the Israeli side of the wall.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
He's not saying that, though. The qualifiers that a one-state solution can either be Jewish or democratic. For a two-state, he doesn't have this critique. I get the point you're making. He's still a liberal Zionist. Yes, I understand that.
For example, he's one of the 58 landowners that are going to lose their land here. It's and our 58 Palestinian Christian families that are going to lose their land here. And you're not talking about, immigrants that came here. You're talking about indigenous population of this land. We are standing now.
Ironic, because the OG Christians, too.
Over a territory that no one in the world, not even the...
Like OG Christians who originally were Jewish. That's who you're fucking killing. You're killing the descendants whose ancestors were the OG Jews who stayed, converted to fucking Christianity, and were the OG Christians. It's nuts, dude. It's fucking nuts. It's so crazy that people literally don't recognize this, where they think like, no, you don't understand. Like, these guys gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go. It's like, bro, what the fuck do you mean? Like, whenever people say like, oh, this land belonged to us 3,000 years ago, I'm like, bro, you're trying to kill people that have been there, that didn't leave. Like, you're trying to kill your own ancestors. The descendants of your own ancestors. It makes no fucking sense.
The U.S. recognizes as part of Israel.
I know a lot of evangelicals, it's really big in America right now to support Israel because they say, well, the Bible says Israel belongs to the Jews. And a lot of them also believe that once the Jews take over all of Israel, then they get to have Armageddon.
I read the Bible, and I never saw that the Bible says that God is a real estate agent. Those Christian Zionist organizations, they are not giving money, actually, to the state of Israel. They are giving money to the most ideological settlers. Okay. And of course, I don't think that's a very Christian act.
If I were a Palestinian Christian, I wouldn't involve myself in this conflict. I'd stay out of it and say, look, I know what's coming. What? I'm going to serve Jesus Christ. When he gets here, he'll straighten all this out.
He's going to straighten all this out.
Baxter's advice for Christians on the ground is basically just to bunker down and get ready for the inevitable. He and his fellow Christian Zionists in America are working full tilt to make the end of days a reality, and are using the voting strength of their followers to try and get Washington on their side. And in a political conflict that's already been hijacked by religious zealots on both the Palestinian and Israeli side, adding millions of doomsday-ready American evangelicals to the table is like pouring gas on the fire, in the most flammable region in the world.